Hello everyone, welcome to our first ever Tea, Coffee and Technology series. This is Shom, your host for today. Since this is the first episode of the series, I wish to introduce this series to all our viewers. Tea, Coffee and Technology. The bonding goes long back to the days when IT was rising leaps and bounds by the day. Many of our technology breakthroughs have come over a cup of tea or coffee. So we at CalSoft decided to use this unique bonding to our advantage and get our programmers and engineers speak out the musings and the thoughts on their specialized area. And all of this happening over a warm shot of coffee and tea. We will bring you the topics that are new, hot, extremely current, and at talk of the town. So let's get started with our first showstopper. We have Shreyash Wagmare with us today to share his thoughts on why cloud data protection is need of the hour. Shreyash is associated with the CalSoft for 7 years. Welcome, Shreyash. It is pleasure to have you with us on our tea, coffee and technology show. And I hope the feeling is likewise.
Absolutely, Sam. It's good to be called showstopper, right?
I'm sure, Shreyash, that like me, you are also missing those discussions that we all used to have over the cup of coffee or tea at our cafeteria or at the small chai shop next to our office.
Yeah, definitely. I still remember, we were walking down the corridor after the lunch, right? So majority of the things will be discussed over there only. So yeah, we do miss that time.
Okay. So Shreyash, adventurous by nature, naive by character, and extremely intelligent by work, has been leading the front line in the areas of storage, data protection, and cloud for us. Recently, he led the team for providing cloud data protection solution for a couple of leading enterprise softwares. So Shreyash, coming back to your work, right? Now, can you introduce the topic to set some background to our viewers?
Yeah. So we will be talking about cloud data protection. So for that matter, data protection, whether it is on a cloud or on premises, it has always been a critical thing for any organization. If I want to define data protection in a simple terms, we will say that just making a multiple copies of your data and then recovering your data from these copies in case of a disaster in a quick and efficient way. So that's what we can define a data protection as. I got a chance to work with a couple of our clients recently, and I did see there is an increasing demand in the from the customers that they want to support the cloud data protection. Long back when I read about O'Reilly's survey, so they had a survey around cloud adoption in 2020. So if you see there, right, the 88% of the organizations are already using the cloud computing, and 83% of the enterprise data will be on the cloud by the end of the 2020. Again, this will be a public plus private cloud. So if you look at these numbers, they were taken in the January this year, and the new normal is still going to accelerate it further. Recently, when the CalSoft has moved to Office 365, and it has been a very nice experience for us as an employee. So yeah, so that works well. But of course, there are some challenges along with the new technology, and same happens with the cloud data protection, especially because your data is moving on to someone else's data center. And that's why protecting that data and then taking care of the security of that data becomes a critical part. Now, when majority of your data is moving to the cloud, the data protection on cloud will obviously become a need of an hour. So personally, I believe this is like, one thing where the programmers, coders are big time into it. And that is how the different type of work that we are getting.
Okay, so moving ahead a bit, now how cloud backup works? How is it different than traditional on-prem data protection?
So if I have to compare, then frankly, there is not much difference. Only your source and destination will change. Sometimes source will be same, but majority of the time where you are backing up your data changes. So your data can be on a public cloud, it can be on a private cloud, or it can be on a private cloud which is deployed within your own premise. So that is the only change that we can see as far as the process is concerned.
Okay. And like challenges are a part and parcel of everything, I'm sure cloud data protection is not an exception either. So what are the challenges that you face in cloud data protection?
Yeah, of course. As I mentioned previously, right, every new technology comes along with its own challenges. In case of a cloud, what we see is the medium on which the data is transferred is changed, and the type of a storage that we are using for storing this data is changing. So your software has to adapt to all these changes. Apart from that, the network bandwidth will be quite critical for a cloud data protection because you will be moving the data over the internet to the client's data center. So pesky bandwidth will definitely affect the performance. Other part, if I remember, yeah, so that is a two-directional cost because in case of a cloud data protection, you will have to not only pay for a data storage cost, but there is also a data transfer cost associated. So anytime when you are estimating the cost for your data protection, both these costs should be considered. So these are the two things that any organization can take care of when they are moving to the cloud data protection.
So do you see cloud backup replacing the traditional backup in near future?
No, so I think it's a little tricky question because at this stage, if we look at the way the enterprises are adopting to the cloud, they are not moving the entire data onto the cloud. Still, some of the sensitive data is being kept on the local data center. And that is the reason that it may not replace it completely, at least in the near upcoming years.
So will you have a use case to support your observation? You know, we marketeers are always fact hunting.
Okay, let me think. So I remember one example. One of our client actually they requested for an AWS-based backend to their data protection software, and the challenge was they don't have any deduplication technology. Now, if I'm going to ask my customer to move a data across the internet onto the cloud without any data deduction, then it is going to incur a huge cost for them. So we went back, we actually asked the product manager there and asked that what is this requirement actually. So he mentioned that, this is not a normal case that where people want to move completely to the cloud. What these people have done is they have their own private cloud within the same data center, and they're just migrating data from this older servers to this new private cloud. The benefit that they get is they can access all the data from their cloud solution in other places. So if you see here, right, there are different types of requirements which will always keep coming, and this requirement will make sure that on-premises backup and cloud backup will have to go hand in hand going at least for next few years. I hope that quenches your hunger for the facts, right?
Yes, pretty much. Okay, let's do a quick jam. Just a minute. 3 key challenges that existing data protection software face while supporting the cloud data protection.
Okay. First thing I believe is the architectural compatibility. Second part, which comes with the scalability, and the third part is the user interface. These are the three things at least I observed. Architectural compatibility straight away comes because your software stack might be older because the software was developed quite a long back. Cloud is scalable. Is your software scalable enough is a pretty much important thing because otherwise you cannot utilize all the features that cloud is offering to you. And UI. So enterprise UI has been a neglected thing for quite some time. And with the cloud administrator in place who are going to use your software, you will have to make your user experience similar to what the cloud providers offer today. So these three key challenges, I believe, will be any data protection software will be facing.
That was real quick. While product companies are preparing for the change you mentioned, how software services companies can remain relevant in this game?
That's a great question. I believe first thing is that yeah, you will have to build your task force with a newer technology. There is no other alternative to that. Uh, Second part is you can get into not just the software development strategy or a product engineering consultation to your clients, but you can also be a strategic consultant to your client. And that is one uh, way where the services industry can make a difference to their product companies. Uh, Other part I believe which Casoft is doing quite good is the building the accelerators or the frameworks for their clients. Especially recently we have developed this Office 365 protection suite. So this is like a small library which can be integrated quickly into any data protection software. And what that makes is basically that will make you capable of a cloud data protection in almost no time. So it's like you save on a cost, you save on the maintenance cost, and then your time to market has reduced drastically. So this is the way basically we can empower our own customers.
Okay, great shares. I really like that word, empowering customer. So that this technically brings us to the end of this show. Thanks, Shreyas, for this insightful session and sharing your thoughts on cloud data protection and its requirements. With these viewers, thank a lot for being with us and watching our show. We'll be back again shortly with more insightful topics and short videos. For any feedback, suggestion, queries, please write us at marketing@calsoftinc.com and stay tuned for our future technical videos. Bye. Thanks.